If you're new here, my name is Lauren, and this is the Saturday Snippets video where I do some coloring and some chatting. And the page that we are working on is the frog page from Small Victories. This is it. The previous videos with the mushroom and the butterfly, the first part of the frog, are up on the channel if you're interested. For each one of these little nature scenes, I used a different brand of pencils. So here I used Polychromos, here I used Prismacolor, and here I am using Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. So these are the colors that we are working with, and I have written them down in my little notebook. So we are using, for the frog, which is what we're coloring today, manganese violet, quinacridone purple, violet, bismuth yellow, golden bismuth yellow, yellow ochre, burnt ochre 50%, alizarin crimson, and dark flesh. Last time we did the leaves, and I'm hoping also to do the background today. So that's middle verdigris, dark English green, and French gray 10%, and of course white. Okay, so I'll also be using a gel pen, so either the Langueur Plus P600B or the Artristro paint marker pen. Either one is fine. Even a regular jelly roll gel pen will work. And of course I have my tea, which I will take a sip of, and then we will get started. Right, so we are zoomed in, and as always I have a page underneath to protect the next page in the book, and I have a page to rest my hand on. We are starting with the bismuth yellow, which is 810. I just want to say, like I do in all my videos, that you don't have to use the luminance pencils. You can use any brand of pencils. You just find the closest color match, and it doesn't have to be a perfect match either, as long as it's close enough. We have to, of course, use a very sharp pencil because the spaces in this book are really small. So let me just sharpen my pencil. And as always, I am using the Tagal sharpener on the first setting. Okay, so we're going to start with our little frog's face and just put a light layer of this color over the whole area. Okay. So I hope you are all having a good morning. It's morning here, it's Saturday morning, and it's really quiet outside. So I'm taking the opportunity to film. So our next color, one second, is it's golden bismuth yellow 820. Okay, so we're leaving our highlight in the middle, and so we're just going around. Yeah, so it was a really quiet week for me, relatively speaking. I did some marking of students' papers. I had to send one back because the bibliography wasn't any good. But he'll resubmit, the student. We are now using burnt ochre 876. Yeah, so I spent quite a bit of time at the pool, and because it was really hot here, really hot. So going to the pool was nice, and of course I go to the pool also to swim because I tore my rotator cuff. If you've been watching the channel, you know that. Okay, next we have another one I have to sharpen. One second. And it is alizarin crimson, which is 589. Yeah, so I'll go to the pool and I swim to strengthen the muscles in my shoulder. And I started doing water aerobics as well, which is fun. So this week was my first water aerobics class. And it's not as easy as it looks. Okay, wait. Let's go back to our bismuth yellow, 810, to blend this out. Yeah, so it's not as easy as it looks because you have to keep your balance in the water, which is not easy. Back to the burnt ochre. Oh, this frog is so cute. Yeah, so it's not really easy to keep your balance in the water. So, yeah. And then they bring out the equipment, like floating things, noodles, they call them. And then you've got to work with those while you're trying to keep your balance. That was fun, but not easy. And yeah, so I did that. Oh, and they also have weights. So by the time I'm done with that, I'm exhausted. And I have to go home and rest. But it's fun and it's good for my shoulder. So I will continue doing that a couple of times a week. Okay, so I just want to also go in with the dark flesh. 1 second. I'm sharpening as I go along. So that's dark flesh 748. This is one of the new colors. And I just want to darken up the little eyes. Okay. You need a really sharp pencil for this bit. Maybe just deepen up the shadow there as well. Okay, great. So that's that. I'm thinking that I also want to use these colors in these flowers. We will see once the frog is colored. Okay, so now we're moving on to our frog. And for this, we're going to be using the purples. Okay, so we've got, manganese violet 112. We've got quinacridone 115, violet 120, and dark indigo 639. Okay, so yeah, these also need a sharpen. So I'm just going to sharpen them and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to start with the manganese violet 112, and we're just going to put a light layer of this over the whole frog. Okay, so as always, to keep light pressure, you hold your pencil further away from the point, and that will force you to stay light. Okay. Oh, I think these two colors are going to go really nicely together. Okay, so that's what I did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is the pool. And what else did I do this week? Marking, swimming, and coloring. I made a lot of progress on some of my pages for my buddy colors, which was good. My buddy colors are very patient because I'm not the fastest colorer in the world. But yeah, I'm also a bit of a perfectionist as well. So anyway, I will show you all my finished pages in my finished pages video at the end of the month. But I've made good progress. So that was also fun. And while I'm coloring, I'm watching Dateline. So again, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know that I love mysteries and thrillers. It's like a go-to genre for my reading, and of course I also like watching documentaries in the same way. So I've been watching Dateline, and we're going to leave the highlight in the middle here. And one thing that I have learned from my binge watching of Dateline is that you shouldn't get married, you shouldn't have a best friend, you shouldn't have life insurance, you shouldn't open your door, and you shouldn't walk outside. It's very dangerous out there, and there are some really diabolical people. There was a wife who was running some sort of Ponzi scheme, and her husband found out and she poisoned him. Oy. And but yesterday I was watching the John Smith case. Okay, we're moving on to our next color, which is quinacridone purple, which is 115. Okay, we're just putting this in the shadows. Yeah, so I sort of knew about John Smith even before watching the Dateline episode, because a couple of years ago, it might have been more than a couple of years ago, there was a TV movie made of the case with Adam Arkin from Chicago Hope. That was a show a few years ago. I'm not sure if anyone remembers it. I love that show. And so he was in that show. So, and who else was in that TV miniseries? If I remember correctly, it was also Kelly Williams. She was on The Practice. Also a show I used to watch a lot when I was younger. I think I actually preferred Chicago Hope to ER. I think they were on more or less at the same time. Or was it Grey's Anatomy that was on at the same time? I think Grey's Anatomy is still on. I stopped watching that show. I couldn't take the drama anymore. It was becoming a little bit over the top. Anyway, back to John Smith. So, yeah, I was watching that case, and he was really a nasty piece of work, that guy. So he, if I remember correctly from the episode, it starts with his wife, Fran, disappears. She had fallen, I think, and she'd broken her hip or something like that. So she wasn't the most mobile. So when she vanished, her family was like, well, she can't get around. So how exactly did she go off by herself, like her husband said? And so the police started looking into it. And because she was an adult, and he said that she left him a note, there wasn't really very much the police could do. But her family didn't give up. Her family was amazing. They were certain he'd done something to her. Okay, next we've got Violet, 120. Only in the deepest shadows here. Okay. Yeah, so we're putting our highlight in the middle of each leg and in the middle of these sections. Yeah, so they were convinced that he'd done something to her. And then during the investigation, it turned out that he'd been married before and divorced. And his first wife, I think her name was Janice, she also disappeared. So now the police are even more suspicious. Anyway, this takes years. It actually, as I've been watching Dateline, I've been seeing how long it takes for the police to investigate and gather evidence and bring someone to trial. It's not like on TV where it's like everything's all wrapped up in 45 minutes, an hour with commercial breaks. In real life, it takes much longer. Yeah, so eventually, if I remember correctly, his brother went to the police and gave them information that eventually allowed them to solve the case of his first wife, because her body was found by some unsuspecting people. And when they found her body, they didn't know who she was. But eventually she was identified with the help of John Smith's brother, and they managed to get him for her her murder, but they never did find his other wife. But her family never gave up. They were the ones who like contacted the first wife's family. They warned people about him. He found another woman he was going to marry, but they warned her. Scary. Okay, we're going back to our manganese violet 112 to blend some of this out. Yeah, so I was watching that case this week, and what else did I watch on Dateline? Then there was the case of the DJ's wife who was murdered, and her kids were also in the house with her. They were okay, but that was just terrible. I'm not going to give anything away. If you're interested, you can watch the show. Okay, I think I'm going to need some white. But did I take the white out of the case? I think I'm going to have to go and get it. I think I left it in the case. Oh, I really like this frog. Okay, I have to get my white. I'll be back. Okay, so now I've got white, and we're just going to blend, and this will also keep our highlight. The luminance white is really good. It's a really good white. It's a toss-up between which white is better, the Prismacolor or the luminance. I think they're both excellent whites. I tend to use the Polychromos white, not the Polychromos white, the Prismacolor white more often just because it's on my desk. I don't put it away. Okay. Right, let's deepen up some of those shadows with the dark indigo. Because the white made it all very light, so we want to put our shadows back. Yeah, so that's what I was watching. And of course, I'm also reading. So I finally finished Kelly Armstrong's The Boy Who Cried Bear. I'm on, I don't know, I'm thinking about the resolution of that book, the ultimate explanation, and I'm like, I don't know, I like the story, I really like the characters, but the explanation was a little bit lacking. But there's obviously going to be like an ongoing thread in this series. So, yeah, it was all right overall. And I like ongoing threads. So I have, of course, it's the second book in the series. And the series itself is a spin-off of a previous series. Now we're going to violet because we're putting in our shadows again after blending with white. So it's violet 120. Yeah, so I've already added the next audiobook to my TBR. I will get to it. And the library has all the books on audio, so that's nice. So I listen to audiobooks when the books are in the first person. I don't know about other people, but I have a pet peeve, and that is I cannot read books that are written in the first person. I don't know, it's like I get an identity crisis. I keep, because of the I pronoun, I'm always like, but I is me, and I'm not this character. So I start to get confused in my brain. And so it's no good. I can't read those books. But I discovered a few years ago that if I listen to them on audio, then I've got the narrator's voice in my head, and so I don't have that identity crisis. And so I'm okay with that, which is good because there's some excellent books written in the first person. Okay, so Manganese Violet 112. I'm thinking what we're going to do with these dots. I'm thinking just gel pen, but I want them to be darker. Maybe purple gel pen or yellow gel pen or yellow. Yes, yellow gel pen. Hold on, let me get it. It's right here. Okay, so it's just, it's not gel pen, it's acrylic paint marker. It's the Artristro. Let's just shake. Give it a good shake. Okay. And always make sure that it's flowing on a separate piece of paper. So, okay, gonna put his little, what are they called? These bumps that frogs and toads have. I think they secrete. I'll have to look that up and see what they're called. Oh, he came out so cute. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do these little flowers, but I want them to be yellow because I want more of this yellow color. Okay, so we're going back to our bismuth yellow. So bismuth yellow, 810. And we're just going to go over these petals with this color. Okay, we can do all of them. Yeah, so I finished that book. And I also started a new book on my Kindle. I'm reading the In Death series by J.D. Robb. So if anyone's a reader, okay, now we're just going in with the alizarin crimson 589. Then you know that J.D. Robb is also Nora Roberts, and she writes under her J.D. Robb name. She writes the In Death series, which is about a detective, but it's set in the future. Even though it's set in the future, aside from the setting, which is like New York in the 2050s, I think it's the 2050s or 2060s, it's you know, it's more or less contemporary. I mean, the actual characters and crimes. This is burnt ochre, 50%. Just blending that out. Okay, I think these leaves are going to turn out more orange than yellow. That's okay. So yeah, so I'm reading that series. That series has a ton of books in it. I think she's up to 60, maybe. I think the book that I'm reading now is 56, perhaps. It's called Passions in Death. They're all called something in death. So, Born in Death, Conspiracy in Death, and this one's called Passions in Death. So I've just started it. They've just found the body. And I really like the series. Burnt ochre, 50%. Yes, we're blending out. Do I want to do those other? No, they're all going to be this color. So I'm reading that and enjoying it. I like that series. I don't like all of the characters. So if you've read any in depth, then you know that Eve, that's the heroine's name. Again, bismuth yellow. She has a friend who's a rock star. Like, she wasn't a rock star in the beginning of the series. She was just a singer, but she became a rock star as the series progressed. Anyway, her name is Mavis. And I know that lots of people love Mavis. They think she's fabulous. Me, I'm not such a fan. Dark Flesh, 748. I find Mavis annoying. She's one of those really perky people. And I'm like, I think that she's supposed to be perhaps a bit of comic relief for the dark of the plot. But I just find her annoying and childish. I have no patience for those kinds of characters anymore. So I know lots of people love Mavis, but not me. And then there's another character that other people don't really like I read reviews, or people in I'm in a Goodreads group where we read these books together, and other people in my Goodreads group don't really like this character, but I love her. Her name's Trina, and she's like a hairstylist, makeup artist, beautician. Is that what they're called? And she bullies Eve into, taking care of her hair and her skin. And Eve doesn't like that, but I like it. But Trina's one of the only characters who stand up to Eve, which is cool. Okay, in the middle. Okay, so this one doesn't have this circle, so we're going to put it in ourselves. Oh, there we go. And let's just do that. Anyway, so Trina bullies Eve into taking care of her skin and her hair and stuff like that. So she stands up to Eve. It's cute. Their dynamic is cute. I have just smudged my little circle there, so I'm gonna have to fix that. So just a second. This you have to be careful. So the good thing about acrylic paint pen is that you can scrape it off. But now I just have to go back in with my. Actually, I like that. I might do that on the others as well. Hold on. Now I need to be careful. Do not smudge that. Okay. Maybe I will turn the page a bit so that I don't smudge. Yeah, there we go. I want to put some of this alizarin crimson back in. Brighten up where I lost some of the shadow with the blending. Yeah, okay. And that should be dry now. So let's just put it back the way it was. So I read that. Okay. Right, now let's look at our little frog. We've got these rocks and then the background. So let's do the rocks. I'm going to use French Gray, 10%, 802, and just color them all in with this color as a base layer. Okay. What else happened this week? I'm trying to think. It was really a quiet week. Summer's quiet. Yeah, so I did go to the vet because Tobie is my Jack Russell, if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, then you know about Tobie. He's very vocal sometimes. Right now he's sleeping next to me, but he can be quite vocal. Where is my dark indigo? Ah, here it is. Okay, dark indigo, 639. Okay, and we're gonna put this on top of these rocks in the shadows. So Tobie is 17 and he's got a little bit of arthritis. So he has a pill, it's called Tasquin, and for his arthritis, he takes a quarter of a pill every day. He likes them, he just chews it. I don't have to, like, thank goodness, force it down his throat, because he doesn't like that. And I don't like that. So he just munches them, which is nice. But I needed to get a refill from the vet. And also, during the winter, it wasn't that cold, but he was shivering. So I took him to the vet, and the vet said he's fine. It's just that because he's old, his ability to regulate his body temperature has taken a bit of a hit. And she said the way to combat that is to feed him more, which he's really happy about. So he gets, but not just regular food, he gets it's called Hills AD, and it's like really enriched food. And I must say it worked. As soon as we started giving that to him every day, he stopped shaking, shivering. And of course I had to buy him a nice new fluffy blanket, even though he already had a fluffy blanket, but this one was so cute, I just had to get it. But now in the summer, he's got the same problem, only he's overheating. Let's take the white, okay, and 001, and we're gonna blend that out. Just make sure that it's clean from the purple from the frog. Yeah, so I had to get him some more of that food from the vet as well. I buy that food from the vet, but I was speaking to the pet store where I buy his other food, his dry food, and they also have that food, and it's slightly cheaper. So I think I'm going to start getting it from the pet store instead of the vet. But the pet store doesn't have his pills. Yeah, they're a medication. The pet store doesn't have those. So those I'll still get from the vet. Anyway, so the food is also helping him regulate his temperature in the heat. But I also put the fan on for him. And we have air conditioning, so I put the air conditioning on for him too. And for me, because it gets really hot. But he's snoozing away now. He hears my voice, so he looks up sometimes. Oh, I like those. Those came out nicely. Okay, so now we are moving on to the background. And as I said, we're going to make it like a misty greenish color because I want it to match the other images that also have this greenish background. So we're going to start with the middle verdigris, which is 713. Now, as you know, if you've been watching, I have drawn a circle around this little scene so that I can make sure that my background doesn't go beyond that a circle. Okay, so we're going to just put a light layer of this over the entire background. Okay, again, I'm holding my pencil further away from the edge, from the point, to make sure that my layer is light. Okay. Oh, just making sure I'm on camera. So that was also something I did this week. What else did I do? That's more or less it, I think. Yeah, summer is a quiet time. I get to have a bit of a rest. So again, if you've been watching the channel, you know I'm a college lecturer by profession. But it's the summer break now. I've just realized this frog has webbed feet. Ooh, okay, wait, stop. This is something we need to color. So we're going back to our manganese violet, and we're just going to color in his little webs. Oh, I forgot those. Sorry, Mr. Frog. Okay, quinacridone purple, just in the shadow areas. So in that little V of his web. Yeah, sometimes you only notice these things when you start to color the background. Okay, dark indigo. This is why it's important for this pencil to be really sharp. Okay, going back with the quinacridone purple. Just to blend that out. And white. Make sure that my the point is clean. Okay. And just the quinacridone purple again. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, back with our middle verdigris. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm a college lecturer, and so I work at 2 different colleges. And their semesters don't always overlap. So sometimes I get a longer break, sometimes I get a slightly shorter break, but it's okay. I love my job. I love teaching and seeing my students improve and progress over time and learn critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is very important. Okay, I'm just turning the page. Okay, so I use circular motions for this because we're going to be blending. The circular motions prevent harsh lines, which makes blending easier. Okay. Around these petals. I'm actually thinking that these luminance pencils work quite nicely on this paper. Luminous pencils don't always work nicely. Sometimes they can be a bit scratchy. And of course, the kind of paper can affect that. I
also see I've got some pencil dust. I think I need to get a brush, brush it away. Yeah, let's just get a brush. Okay. Oh, but I do like that color. It's going to make the background nice. Okay. Right, now we're going in with our next color, which is dark English green, 729. Now, we want this verdigris color to be on the outside. So this dark English green is only going to be on the inside and then a little bit into the outside, and we will blend it out. So around the frog. And the lily pads. Okay. Light pressure, circular motions. Yeah, so I think okay, I'm just concentrating so that I don't want to go too far into the verdigris. And here you can do like very light flicking motions into the verdigris, which will also make it easier to blend. Around these rocks. Stones, rocks. Okay, so here the edge of my circle is quite close to the lily pad. So I'm only going just a tiny bit into the corners here. Okay. Just a tiny bit. I want to make sure to keep highlights. It's the highlights and the shadows that make things look three-dimensional and realistic. Oh, I think someone's awake. Oh, we're just changing position. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this video is going to be a bit longer than usual because I'm just finishing up the scene. But that's okay. I like to watch color alongs from other channels as well because I learn lots of new techniques, which is always fun. And I'm going to have to blend that out. And it's fun to like watch other channels while I'm coloring. It's relaxing. Okay, yes, I don't want any more of that. I'm going to take... Okay, now we have a dilemma. Do we go back with the middle verdigris or do we do white? Let's do a little bit of the verdigris just to blend out this this dark English green. Oh, and then we're going to get a nice... Okay. A nice muted turquoise kind of color. That's good. All right. So we're just blending out the English green with the middle verdigris. Oh, yes, I like this. This is pretty. The muted background makes the darker foreground pop. So it's important that the background not overshadow the foreground in this kind of image, because the image is so, the details are so small. This sharp stroke is annoying me. Let me get an eraser. Okay, so let me just erase that sharp stroke, because, yes, all right. Let's go back in with the middle verdigris. Yeah, much better. This is the importance of layering. You can correct mistakes more easily. Okay. Yeah, these pencils have worked really nicely on this paper. I'm impressed. I think I might even like them the best of the 3 brands that I've tried. I'm trying to figure out which pencils work the best for this paper so that I will know what I can use on other pages. Okay, now we're going to go in with the white and just on the edge. Okay, not in the middle because I want that to be slightly darker. Okay, so basically we're now just blending and burnishing. Burnishing is when you get rid of the tooth of the paper completely. Blending is when you blend colors, and burnishing is when you press even harder and you get rid of the tooth of the paper so that no colors can go on top. Even though some pencils, like luminance, even after burnishing, you can still put pencils on top. And polychromos don't burnish. You can add layer on layer on layer. They're amazing. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so let's zoom out and see how it looks with the other images. Right, so this is what our page looks like now, and I really think that it's coming together and that each of the scenes is looking cohesive with these colors. In our next Saturday snippet, we're going to move on to the right side of the page, and again, we're going to start from the mushroom at the top, and we're going to keep our color scheme so that everything in the end looks cohesive together. So thank you so much for joining me as I color this adorable little frog, and I hope that you will join me for new Saturday snippets in the future. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.